Hello, good evening. Welcome to Step into English program of Shilpa Sayur Foundation. And today we are going to learn a very important lesson, which is of tenses. And previously too, in a couple of classes I have done previously, I introduced tenses, mainly simple present tense and past tense in general. So I'll be sharing those two links here again. So you can later on go to them, click on them. They are on our YouTube channel. You can go through those two YouTube videos and see what I have introduced previously. Anyway, I'll be briefing them once again. So to start with that, let me share my screen with you. So hope you can see it. So if I draw a timeline like this, we call this a timeline. So in this timeline, you can see this is the simple present. Now, present simple. And in the past, distant past, that means athatita, distant past. And in between, finished past. So that is where we use past continuous. And the distance past, again, you can see past perfect continuous, past perfect tense. And in past tense means almost finished. It is somewhere after distant past. So I will show that also in another timeline. And this is where you learn most of the tenses centered upon, and then future tense. And there you can, if you just can note down this, if you can quickly write this down, draw this, and it will be quite useful, because you see now present simple, and there are some routines when we explain some routines, like I take part the Shilpa Sayur English class every Saturday 7:30 at 7:30. So that is a routine. I wake up at 6 a.m. every day. So it's a routine. So always, sometimes, never. I never sleep after. I never sleep in the evening. Sorry, yes, I never have a nap in the evening. So that is again a routine. So you use simple present tense to talk about routines and the things that you do as a habit. And past simple, here you see past simple, that is finished past, complete actions. So for that, we use some signal words. Ago, I lived in London many years ago. Finished. So it's a complete action. I went to the temple yesterday. Went. Distant past means, so if before this event happened, but something that you might have started in the distant past, right? I have read that book. I have already read that book. Someone offers you a book, say Ambayalu, and you reject, you just, politely reject that offer and tell, I have already read that book. I have already read. So when we were talking about verbs, we learnt about 3 stands of a verb: simple present tense, past tense, and past participle. So with perfect tense, we are using have or has plus perfect tense. And perfect continuous also used here. So this is where, so I like if you can write this down, because this is very important timeline explanation, the best timeline explanation that I can ever share with you. There you can write these signal words and also some tense formation, how they are formed, the verb formation, right? And yes, for all the tenses, you will notice all the tenses here. So when you take simple present tense, you see present continuous tense is there. And when you take simple past tense, you see past continuous tense there. And when you see perfect tense, you see past perfect tense and past perfect continuous also. And when you learn about future tense, then you will see simple future and also future perfect and perfect continuous. And present perfect tense, when we talk, so that is present. And there again, present perfect continuous tense is there. So I will give you some time for you to write this down if you want. Yes. So this is quite important. And anyways, I'll be sharing. So let's get into Shilpa Sayure step into program links. So there, once again, you can see the main tenses. And yes, yeah. So let me take this. Yes, simple present tense. So this I talked about this. So it's about routines. I work, and the negative form I don't work. So you can see that in different colors. Each color, green coordinates the main verb, the model verb here, the helping verb, and here doesn't. So you can easily identify this again. The signal words are in light green colors, and the helping verbs are in dark green color, and the negation is in red color. And in simple present tense, with the third person singular, he. So S is added, we learned about this, he works. And the question form, you take the helping verb front, do I work. So signal words that you use with these things are every day. So every day, once again, reminds you of, it's a routine. Sometimes, how often you do it. Always, often, usual, usually, seldom, never. First, then when you talk about some kind of when you give instructions or when you write about something for someone to follow, or when you're writing an essay or something, so first, second, third, or lately, lastly, so then you have to use this simple present tense and you'll be using them. So I have used here for you to understand easily only one verb, which is work. So you can notice this again clearly. I prefer if you just follow this up with me and to take down notes, because tenses are quite important, very much important, because through tenses, you communicate, you show which time, it relates to time, especially whether it is to past, present, or future, or whether it is somewhere in between in the timeline, as you saw. So your language will be clearly communicated if you use the tenses clearly only. If not, you do not know whether you are talking of past, future, or present. Right? The tenses are important. හේතුව මොකද්ද? අපි කතා කරද්දී ලියද්දී සහ අපි අහගෙන ඉඳද්දී ඒ කතා කරන දේ කතා කරපු දෙයක්ද, කරන දෙයක්ද, කරමින් පවතින දෙයක්ද, නැත්නම් ඉස්සරහදී සිදුවෙන්න පවතින දෙයක්ද, සිදුවෙමින් පවතින තියෙන දෙයක්ද කියන එක හරියට පැහැදිලිව අවබෝධ කරගන්න, දැනගන්න තමයි මේ ටෙන්සස් කියන එක පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ. එතකොට ඕනෑම භාෂාවක මේ කාලය හා සම්බන්ධ තමයි. ටෙන්ස් කියන්නේ කාලයත් එක්ක සම්බන්ධ වෙන දෙයක්. කාලය හරිම වැදගත්. නැත්නම් අපිට ක්ලියර්ලි අපි කමියුනිකේට් කරන දේ අනිත් පාර්ශ්වයට දැනගන්නට හම්බ වෙන්නේ නැහැ. Okay. So simple present tense is that. So let's see what's present progressive. Progressive, the word itself shows that it belongs to a continuous action. එක දිගට කරමින් පවතින දෙයක්. Something is happening at the same time of speaking or around it. When you see the timeline, you see here this present continuous, right? Here past continuous. So present continuous means something happening here, happening here, right? So that means, right? Yeah. So if I use the same verb, work, I'm sorry. So here you see, I'm working. So see the difference. I work every day as a route, as a routine. So I'm working. That means now. I'm working now. So in the same way, third person singular, he is working. I'm going. So another verb, go. He is going. Am I going? Is he going? I'm not going. He is not working. So that is again easier. And when it comes to simple past tense, and before that you have to notice the words, the signal words in light green color. At the moment, look, he's working. Look, he's singing. Listen, I'm speaking. So these signal words show the tense. It gives clear meaning of the tense that you are speaking. And if it is simple past, it belongs to the past. I verbed. So here, the verb formation you have to use ed. So here you have to notice, I don't want to tell this actually, you are pretty much familiar with this. Am, is, are, we learned about verb be. If not, you can go to our channel and check that out. Infinitive, that means in blue color you see work and ing. Work, working. You never say I am work. It's wrong. I work, that's correct. So here see, I work. That is simple present tense, a regular action, a root. I am working now at the moment. Okay. And when it comes to past simple, I worked. Past tense, ed is there. And when you make the negation, it's not I don't work or I didn't work, it's wrong. I didn't work because do past tense is did. So you have already made the helping verb, the modal auxiliary past. So you do not do anything to the infinitive here. So that is the most important thing you have to learn. So some make both verbs, the helping as well as the infinitive, negative, but by adding ed at the end here, right? So the question form goes in the same way, right? So it's a small reminder. The regular infinitive ends with ed. We learned about irregular verbs also. There are irregular verbs. For example, if you take a verb like sleep, you don't say slept. Slept is the past tense. And also the past participle is also slept. Write, wrote, past participle, written. Okay. Right. And then past progressive. Past progressive means, let me show that here, past progressive. So it is somewhere over here. It is between, it's here, see, it's before, if it's before the present tense and even present continuous, which is over here. Past continuous is somewhere here. That means an action which is an action which was happening in the past tense. යම් කිසි ක්‍රියාවක් අතීතයේ සිදු වෙමින් පැවතිච්ච, right? So let's see some example similar example for that too. Using the same verbs. Work can go. So you can see this while the signal word there. So we use past progressive for an action which happened in the middle of another action. Someone was doing something at a certain time in the past. You don't know whether it was finished or not. කුමන හෝ ක්‍රියාවක් අතීතයේ යම් ක්‍රියාවක් සිදුවෙමින් පවතින වෙලාව සම් ක්‍රියාවක් කරමින් පවතින වෙලාවකදී අතීතයේ යම් කිසි ක්‍රියාවක් වෙනකොට තවත් ක්‍රියාවක් වෙමින් පැවතුනා නම් තමයි අපි මේ past progressive එක use කරන්නේ. So let's see. I was working when he came to see me. So you will understand this meaning of past progressive if you use it with another simple past tense sentence action. That is why they say here අතීතයේ යමක් සිදු වෙනකොට වෙමින් පවතිච්ච ක්‍රියාවක්. When I was working when he came to see me. When he came to see me, I was working. එයාම බලන්න එන එද්දී මම වැඩ කර හිටියේ. So that is, he see, I was working. That is the meaning of this, right? An action happened in the middle of another action. Action happened in the middle of an action. I was working. මම වැඩ කර හිටියේ. In the middle of the action. What happened? He came to see me. So that one is in past tense and this one is in present tense. So, but you see both are in past tense. That is what you have to note here. Both are in past tense. But one action is in past simple. The other one is past continuous. While I was cooking, I heard the bell rang. I heard the bell rang. මම උයමින් ඉන්නකොට bell එක වදිනවා ඇහුණා. Right? So that's what you have to clarify while learning this past tense and past simple. Okay? And let's move back to our lesson again. The tense chart. Right. So that is simple. It's past progressive, and you can see clearly the verb formation. The past form of verb be was were, infinitive plus ing. And this is the simple sentence. And this is the negative form, and this is a question form. Okay, and let's see simple present perfect. So present perfect, most of you get confused with present perfect. Just have a look at this. Just have a look at this. Take your time and take a moment and see, because no matter how many times that you learn, I have the experience that the learner get confused when it comes to simple present tense. Okay, so you see these words are pretty much important when you talk about simple present perfect. So if there are just, yet, never, ever, already, so far, up to now, since, for, recently, if these signal words are there and in a sentence, and then you have to be a little careful whether it is past perfect, past participle, sorry, present perfect tense or something, right? So it signals, you say that something has happened or is finished in the past and it has a connection to the present. Oh, action started in the past and continues up to the present. So this is very much important. So let me take the verb the timeline again. So here you see, this is past perfect. So this is past tense, this is past perfect tense. So what is it? So, complete action. This one, something started in the past or continue up to now. I have already read the book. මම ඒක කියවලා තියෙන්නේ. එයා කියුවේ පහු අතීතේ වුණාට කියවලා තිබ්බ perfect action එකක් වුණාට ඒක. That's why we say perfect. පොතක් සම්පූර්ණයෙන්ම කියවලා ඉවරයි. I have read අඹයාලු. ඒ වුණාට ඒක අදටත් එයාට වළංගුයි කියවපු පොත. මම ඒක කියවලා තියනවා. අපිට සිංහලෙන් නම් ඒක වැඩියෙන්ම මේ අල්ලගන්න පුළුවන් වචනේ තමයි තියනවා. have. කියවලා තියෙන්නේ. අදටත් ඒක valid. අනිත් reason එක something which started in the past and continue up to now. One thing is something started in the past, valid to the present. අදටත් වළංගුයි. The second one that why we use past present perfect tense is something started in the past and continue up to now. Right? So let's see a few examples. Right? So this is the verb formation. I have, third person singular, has, plus past participle. So if you are not sure of past participle, check out our YouTube, and there you can see the verb tense chart, verb tense regular, irregular verbs. There you can see what is past participle. Right? So infinitive means the first column, work. And work past participle is worked. I have worked. වැඩ කරලා ඉන්නේ. ඉන්නේ. It is meant. I have already worked. මම මේ වැඩ කරලානේ ඉන්නේ. The result is valid. Right? It's a perfect action. Excuse me. And he has gone. He has gone. He has gone. Yeah, gihilla. So once again, you can see something that happened in the past. Yeah, gihilla. මේ අපි දැන් කතා කරන්නේ මේ මොහොතේ simple present. තවත් මේ මොහොත වෙනකොටත් එයා ගිහිල්ලා උනේ ඊයේ වෙන්න පුළුවන්, පෙරේද වෙන්න පුළුවන්, අපි දන්නේ නැහැ කවද්ද කියලා. හැබැයි මේ මොහොත වෙනකොට එයා මෙතන නැහැ. So that is why we say that something has happened or is finished in the past and the result is valid to the present. Right? So gone is the third column, the past participle form of go. Okay, and the negation, have a look at the negation and the question form. Up to now. I have read the book up to now. Up to 200, page 200. I have read the book up to page 200. Page 200 වෙනකම් මම පොත කියවලා තියෙනවා. I have never been to America. I have already visited my grandmother for this year. So far, I have not talked to him. තාවම මම ඔහුට කතා කරලා නැහැ. We have been friends since small age. We have been friends. We have been. She is my friend. She is කිව්වා. එතකොට infinitive එක is. කියන්නේ verb be එක. present tense එකේදී verb be එකේ participle එක වෙන්නේ been. We have been friends since small age. පොඩි කාලේ ඉඳලා අපි යාළුවෝ. Okay, so learn this tense carefully because the reason why we use simple present tense instead of past tense is due to these two reasons. So have a clear note on that. And I like if you can jot this down because this is very much important and very much clearly they have explained over here on the table. And present progressive, perfect progressive. So it's just like progressive tense, future or present continuous or past continuous. Why we use present perfect continuous tense? So here see, an action which happened in the past and similar to it has been happening. It has been happening all the time up to a certain period and having the results to the present. Okay, so let's see some examples for that too, using our verbs. Two verbs, work and go. Right? So why we use present progressive? Action began in the past and has just stopped. But so here you notice it has just stopped. Happening. I have just cleaned my shoes. එතකොට ඔයාට පේනවා යාගේ සපත් දෙක තියෙනවා, polish එක ළඟ තියෙනවා, shine වෙවි තියෙනවා shoes දෙක. ඒ කියන්නේ මේ දැන් තමයි ඔය ආයේ වැඩේ කරලා ඉවර වුනේ. just කියන වචනයෙන් ඒක denote වෙනවා. එහෙනම් අර අබයාලු පොත මේ දැන් කියවලා ඉවරනේ. I have just finished reading අබයාලු. Right? So let's see using our common place verbs, two verbs. I have been working. මම වැඩ කර හිටියේ. Before I started the class, I have been cooking. Okay? Just like I have been working, an action started in the past and continuously doing until right a short while before. Right? පොඩි වෙලාවකට කලින් අනතර කරමින් කරපු එකක්. He has been working. I have been going to see my friend in the hospital before I met him. Right? Or something like that. Okay. Next one. So simple past perfect. So just like just as we explained past continuous and past tense, here past perfect tense and past perfect tense and past tense also has a connection. So already, just, never, these are the signal words. Why we use simple past perfect? Actually, they all simple past perfect usually go with two sentences together. Right? Mostly when two actions in a story are related to each other, the action which had already happened is put into past perfect. The other action into simple past. තේරුණාද? මේකේ කියන්නේ actions දෙකක්. හරි කතාවකට හරි කිසි දෙයකට සම්බන්ධ වෙන්න actions දෙකක් අපි ගැන කතා කරනකොට the action which had already happened මෙලහකටත් කලින්ම සිද්ධ වෙච්ච action එක අපි past perfect tense එකෙන් කියනවා. අනිත් action එක simple past වලින් කියනවා. Okay, so this is the usual formation of the tense. Had, past participle. I had worked hard before I lost my job. Okay? Understand? මොකක්ද action දෙකම past tense එකේ. හැබැයි අපි එක කතන්දරයක් අපි කියන කතන්දර කියනකොට අපි මේ gossip කියනකොට එහෙම තමයි වැඩිපුර මේක use කරන්නේ. So learn this tense well. Past tense and past perfect. අපි ගොඩක් කතා කරන්නේ අපි stories නේ කියන්නේ ගොඩක් අයට. කවුරුරි හම්බුනහම ආරට වුණා මේක වුණා මෙහෙම වුණා මේ විදියට වුණා. So master these two tenses well. Perfect tense and past tense. Already it's very easy to deal with other tenses. So master perfect tense and it is easier. Right? I had worked hard before I lost my job. So there are two tenses. One is in past perfect and the other one is in past tense. So what are the two tenses there? The action which had already happened මොකක්ද උනේ? I had worked. job එක lose වෙන්න කලින් නැති වෙන්න කලින් යා වැඩ කරේ. I had worked hard before I lost my job. Put into past, had already happened is put in past perfect. The other action into simple past. Okay, I hope you understood that. The other reason, the past of the present perfect. In the make I have worked. It's wrong, right? I have worked, you work. I have worked. So a direct past present perfect I had worked. I hadn't worked. Had I worked? He had worked. He hadn't worked. Had he worked? So here you see the beauty of past tense is unlike simple present tense, based on first person or second person or third person, singular plural, it doesn't change its form. It always had, right? So here you see that with the first person and third person and second person plurals, you do third person plural and second person, and first person singular, you use have. In other cases, third person singular, you use has singular forms. But here, just like did, had for everything. Okay, the progressive is just like continuous tense. How long something had been happening before something else happened, right? So if you just compare it with past progress, an action happened in the middle of another action, or someone who's doing something at a certain time, you don't know whether it was finished or not. So here the simple past progressive is how long something had been happening before something else happened. So let us have a look. Past perfect continuous. Before some action happened, what had been happening, right? So that's it. So let's see the example. So here the beauty of that is been is introduced, right? I had been, infinitive and ing. So here you can see in I was working. Was is the past tense of verb be. Hope you can remember when we were learning about the verbs, the special verb be we learned. And there we learned be in simple present tense, we use am is are, and past tense was were. And with the verb be, ing form is being, past participle is been. So here, I have been working, right? He has been going. Okay, so that's it. And now let's do a small exercise based on the comprehensive program given by Shilpa Sairon Step into English program. Okay. Right. So here you can see clearly, right? Okay, I'll share that link with you, and you can use that later on. So do you find it interesting? So is this clear? Do you have any questions to ask? Yes? Yes or no? Before we move to our tenses quiz. Yeah, clear. Good. Right. You can do this quiz online, or else you can have a print also. And why do you live in France? Which tense? Yes. Why do you live in France? To which tense it belongs? To which tense it belongs? Yes? May I know the answer, please? Is it present perfect or present continuous or simple present tense? Yes? Why? Yes, we'll see the answer. Present simple, excellent. Right. Yes, next one. You are visiting English club. What's the tense? To which tense does it belong to? You are visiting, are present continuous. Very good. I haven't had breakfast yet. I haven't had breakfast yet. To which tense does it belong to? Haven't had. Had is the past participle of have. Have, had, had. Yet a single word is there. Which tense? So you may feel this little tricky because had is also there. Why haven't had? I had my breakfast, past tense. I have my breakfast. That is something simple present tense. I have my breakfast. It's not perfect tense. I have eaten my breakfast. I eat gatta. I have had. I haven't had my breakfast. What's that tense? Haven't had my breakfast. This very beautiful sentence. I haven't had breakfast. It's similar to I haven't eaten. I haven't taken. Present perfect. Excellent. Next one. Would you like a coffee? We didn't learn it yet. We haven't learned that yet. Yes, see. When we talk, we may not use this present tense and perfect tense and everything clearly as we write, right? I said we didn't learn it yet. The actual, the really correct sentence would be we haven't learned that tense yet. Right? See? So, would you like a coffee? What is that? Is it conditional? Is it future simple? Or is it present simple? Conditional. Is it conditional? No, we have not learned conditional yet. It's simple present tense. Would you, like the polite form? Right? Okay, let's talk about this verb would later. Okay. Were you working at 9 o'clock? So this is like, may I go to the temple? May I go to the washroom? Right? Okay. Next one. Were you working at 9 o'clock? What is that tense? Yes. Were you working? Past continuous. Very good. Did Tara phone you yesterday? Yes. What is the answer? Did Tara phone you yesterday? Past simple. Excellent. The train had already left. Had already left. What is it? Past simple, past continuous, or past perfect? Yes? Had already left. What is it? Past perfect. Excellent. We'll have finished by 6 p.m. So we are yet to learn it. Future perfect. Okay? Yes. So let's stop at this junction because we have to learn more to move forward with that exercise, those exercises. Okay, and yes, let's see. Yes, yes, let's move on to future tense. So you all know that we use this model, the helping verb or the auxiliary will with future tenses. And why we use future tense, this is easier to predict, to foretell, to tell beforehand. අපි අනාගතය ගැන කලින්ම කියන්න දෙයක් තමයි future tense එක use කරන්නේ. Predictions about the future. You think that something will happen or you decide to do something. හරි අපි decide කරලා ඉන්නවා, තීරණය කරලා ඉන්නවා something මොකක් හරි කරන්න අපි ඒක spontaneously at the time of speaking කියන වෙලාවේ I will come and see you tomorrow. Right? Plan කරපු එකක් නෙමෙයි. Decide කරලා තීරණය කරලා ඉන්නේ. තීරණය කරලා මම එන්නම්. No, main clause in type 1 of the conditional sentence. Right. Right? Conditional sentences with will use karna. So that we have to use separately, learn separately. So we'll see I'll work. I will. Short form is I'll. I'll work. මම වැඩ කරන්නම්. මම වැඩ කරන්නේ නැහැ. Will not, short form is won't. I won't work. He will work. So you see the beauty of this is you do not change to the infinitive verb here. Work, works වෙන්නේ input වෙන්නේ නැහැ. I will go, I'll go, I won't go, I will not go. Right? And also there's another way of expressing future tense using going to. මේක going කියලා තිබ්බා කියලා මේක continuous tense එකට නෙමෙයි ආйти වෙන්නේ. ඒක මෙතන මේ decide කරනවට වඩා decide කරලා spontaneous action එකක් future එකේදී කරනවට වඩා මේකෙදී decision එකත් එක්ක අපි සම්පූර්ණයෙන්ම තීරණය කරලා මේ ඒක මේ කරනවාමයි කියන මතයට ආපු දෙයක් ගැන කියද්දී අපි use කරනවා going to. When you have already decided to do something in the future, what you think, what will happen, sure එකටම වෙන දේවල් ගැන කියද්දී decision එකක් ගැන කියද්දී හොඳටම plan කරපු දෙයක් ගැන කියද්දී ඒ වෙලාවේ decide කරපු දෙයක් okay I will come කියනකොට sure එක sure නෑ ඉද නැද්ද කියලා I'm going to come and see you tomorrow කියන්නේ අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම right. So you see verb be එකත් එක්ක am isa going to එනවා verb එක එනවා. I'm going to work. I will work. මම වැඩ කරන්න නැති වෙන්නත් පුළුවන්. I'm going to work. Definitely එනවා. I'm not going to work. මම වැඩ කරන්න. Right? He's going to work. එයා වැඩ කරන්න යන්නේ. He will work. Not sure. So you see the difference between will and going to there. Okay? Right, so that's it about the main sentences, and you can have a look once again. And this is something very much comprehensive timeline that I repeat. So if you need time to note this down, I can give some time. If you do not want, I can move to the next part. Yes, give me a response. මොකද කියන්නේ? මේක note down කරන time එකක් ඕනද? එහෙම නැත්නම් අපි ඊළඟ part එකට move වෙමුද? Yes. Yes. Shall we move forward? Or do you need more time to write this? Copy this down. Okay, finished? Shall we move forward? Yeah. Okay, great. Okay. So yes, now let us move on to the conditionals. So this is very much important after you completed tenses and after you mastered tenses, the conditionals are very important because we as human beings do everything based on conditions. So when you want to express yourself in form of writing or speaking or whatever, so better you learn this Kondesi conditionals. So the zero conditional, so there are, you see, if you see some conditionals, there's one called zero condition. Does that mean there's no condition? Zero condition එකෙත් zero වුණාට නම condition එකක් තියෙනවා. First condition and second condition and third condition. So there are altogether 4 conditionals. So let's see the first one, which is zero condition. So the zero conditional is a structure used for talking about general truths. General truths. One are the general truths. Things which always happen under certain conditions. If you heat water to 100 degrees, what happens? General truth ekak. It boils. Ne? So there you see, what you have to note down here is how these verbs act in sentence or tense form. If the clause if is there, and then the if clause and main clause, 2 clauses are there for altogether in conditionals. So in zero condition, you see it's the first if clause is in simple present tense and main clause is also in simple present tense. If you heat water, simple present tense. If you heat water to 100 degrees, it boils. So if the if clause comes first, a comma is usually used. If clause comes second, clause එක දෙවනියට ආවොත්, water boils if you heat it to 100 degrees. Then if the if clause comes later, then you do not need to use comma at the end. Then you have to end it with a full stop as always. So we use the same verb, right, from in each part of a zero conditional, the simple present tense. So you note what you have to note in zero conditional sentences, always simple present tense is there with if clause and also with main clause. If clause එකත් එක්කයි ප්‍රධාන clause එකත් එක්කයි දෙකම තියෙන්නේ simple present tense. ඒක තමයි zero condition කියලා කිව්වේ. Right? So if clause, this is the formation. If you boil water, main clause, it boils, subject, simple present verb. Okay? The zero conditional is used to talk about things which are always true. හැම වෙලාවෙම සත්‍ය වෙන දෙයක්. If you take an umbrella with you, you won't get what? The zero condition එකක්ද? If you take an umbrella with you, if you won't kill zero, you don't get wet. Truth එකක් නේ? You won't get wet නෙමෙයි, you don't get wet වෙන්න ඕන. Right? ඒක scientific truth එකක්. Sorry, scientific truth එකක් නෙමෙයි මෙතන ඇත්තටම general truth එකක්. උඩයක් ගෙනිච්චොත් ඉතින් දැස්සත් එන්නේ නෑනේ. Right? So let's see a few more examples for zero conditionals. If you cross an international date line, the time changes. So ne? International time make a Greenwich time make වෙනස් වෙනවා. Say that at this time, now what is the time right now? Yes, what is the time, right? 8:27, right? For us it is 8:27. So can you tell the time for like Japan? It's 3.5 hours ahead. So it's 8:30, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's 12 midnight next day. So it's a scientific truth. So if you cross an international date line, the time changes. If you cross, see the formation always the same. If you cross the international date line, then the time changes. Explanation. This always happens every time you cross a date line. So the time for Sri Lanka is different from time of England, and it's different from time of some other countries. It's different from UAE. It's different from Netherlands. It's different from Germany. It's different from Australia, right? So that is what the international timeline and the date line. If you go 10 meters underwater, the pressure increases. Pressure එක වැඩි වෙනවා to 2 atmospheres. 10 meters can. This is basically always true. The pressure of 10 meters of water equals 1 atmosphere. අපි එක atmosphere එකක් කියන්නේ 10 meter atmosphere change වෙනවා. ඒතර මේ ඉන්න මට්ටමේ නෙමෙයි ඉන්නේ හඩි 10ක් ගියොත් පල්ලෙහාට. හොඳට ස්විම් කරන්න පුළුවන් වුණත් ගිහිල්ලා ටික වෙලාවක් ඉන්න පුළුවන් ඔක්සිජන් නැති වෙනවා. නැත්නම් ඔක්සිජන් අරන් යන්න ඕන. Right? So if you go 10 meters underwater, the pressure increases. Pressure එක යටට යන්න වැඩි වෙනවා. ඒක scientific truth එක. Phosphorus burns if you expose it to air. Right? So the phosphorus burns if you expose it to air. So it's a scientific truth. So you see the if clause and then the scientific phosphorus burns. Simple present tense. Phosphorus burns if you expose it to air. Okay, just have a look at these tenses, zero conditionals. Okay, so I think that you learned a bit lengthy lesson today. We covered almost all the tenses, and I'll be sharing the link to Shilpa Sayura Step into English link, which you can access on your own. And also I will share the tenses and also additional resources like listening to stories and finding the tenses and how they have been used. And yeah, just as these are additional resources, online resources. So are you using, so may I know how you use this? Are you learning through listening and reading? Are you improving your skills through reading, through listening to stories, to broadcasts, YouTube channels, podcasts? Huh? And yes, yeah, I'm sharing the conditionals and yeah. So please click on them and save the links for later use. Anyway, there are loads of hundreds of thousands of additional resources online. So what we'll be sharing at the moment is out of the many, only one. So, but if you can, yes, if you just want to learn more, then there are many resources. Okay. Right. Okay. So if you have any questions, you can ask them after I wind up this session. And thank you very much for joining us. And I wish you a very good night. Thank you so much.